What is going on, friends? It's Mike Collier with Midlife Fitness. It's 8 o'clock. It's Thursday night, and I'm in my basement. So that means I'm ready to talk about health and fitness. If you don't already know me, I help midlife men and women lose weight, build muscle, improve energy, and develop healthy habits that lead to lifelong change. And I've got my profile up right now. Make sure I'm live. I'm live, so that's cool. So if you're here watching right now, let me turn my volume down so you can hear myself. I appreciate you stopping by here. Hopefully you guys get some kind of value out of it. If you're watching the replay, let me know. Just hit replay in the comments or give me a thumbs up or something. And if you have questions, DM me, make comments on this video. I should be able to see them live and be able to answer your questions. But if for some reason you're watching this on the replay and you still have questions, throw them in the comments and I'll answer them there. But if you don't feel comfortable throwing your question out there for everybody to see, feel free to DM me and ask me your question in private and I'll answer you there and try to help you there. So all right, cool. So I'm super excited to talk about this. So the way that I come up with these topics a lot of times, like people will ask questions, but it'll usually come as a result of, things that, people have asked me during the week, or, when I'm checking in with my clients and my athletes and stuff, some, things that they might be struggling with or asking about. And that's exactly what the result of, or that's how this one came about, right? So I was just doing a check-in with one of my athletes, Julie. So thanks, big shout out to Julie for making this happen. Um, and it's something that she said, and we're talking about, and I love doing, check-ins with my clients and just hearing about their successes and just talking about like their journeys and like health and fitness in general, and even their struggles, because I like being able to help them with those things. And we have great conversations, and I love it, and I love seeing like the progression and the growth when somebody's working through like and they're overcoming obstacles and they're figuring out, maybe why they haven't been successful in the past and what's different now and their experience and everything. And she made a statement that um this program, this thing that we're doing together is not something that she's doing. All right. It's not a program that she's doing. So that kind of planted a seed in my head, and it's something that I always think of. Um, and I took it one step further. I said, yeah, it's just something that you do. All right. So that those two statements, not a program that I'm doing, but just something that I do, you're changing three and ing in that word doing, but the meaning between those two is vastly different. Okay, and that's what I want to talk about tonight. And what's funny is, so I got this already. I'm prepared to talk about this tonight, based on my conversation earlier in the week during the check-in. And then I literally had one of my athletes I was just talking to like 15 minutes ago and asked me the same question, like what it is that motivates me. And I had to correct him there because it's not about motivation. But what is it that keeps me going? And that's exactly what I told him, that this is not something that I'm doing. This is just something that I do. So obviously it's on people's minds. It's been on my mind for the last couple of days. So I wanted to talk about that tonight. So let's get into this. Looks like we got a few people watching. Thank you guys so much. I appreciate you. Thank you for being here. Okay, let me share my screen. All right. Cool. Hopefully we're good. All right, so here we go. So program versus lifestyle. So this is really like this is a game changer, and I kind of teased that a little bit in the post I made right before this video started. Is that this is huge. This is a huge mindset shift that most people never really understand, and it makes a huge difference. Um, and it's just a whole different way of thinking about approaching your health and fitness journey. Okay, so that's what we're going to talk about today. So just realize that the key to lasting fitness and what most people want is, you know, lasting results, not temporary results, temporary progress, but something that's going to be sustainable and last. The key to that is about who you are. It's not something that you're trying. Okay. So like I said before, it's not a program that you're doing, it's just something that you do. All right. So so let's be honest, like most people approach fitness as something that they do for a while. Okay, that's the common approach. All right. It's whether it's a 12-week challenge, a new diet plan or something that you're trying out, you might be really excited for it, but you're trying it out, you haven't, and there's an end date for it. Okay. It's a program that they're gonna try and see if they get results. So I get that. I went through that same approach when I was trying to figure this thing out, where I try every fad diet, every shiny new piece of equipment, and you're kind of just throwing stuff at the wall, right? And just kind of seeing what sticks, hoping, fingers crossed, and just hoping and praying that something's finally going to work for you, right? Well, you're kind of setting yourself up for failure. Okay. And I'm going to talk about why that is. But here's the truth, and this is the statement that I really want you to think about and get stuck in your head, is that temporary efforts yield temporary results. All right, I'll say that again. Write this down. Temporary efforts yield temporary results. Okay, and I don't know about you guys, but I know like for me, I'm not about temporary results. Okay, I want lasting progress and lasting results. I want to keep the work and everything that I did. All right. So the reality of lasting change. So if you want a lasting change, again, don't look at it as something that you're doing, look at it as something that you just do. So you need to stop looking for the finish line. Okay. Don't think of it as an end date. Okay. Get away from that finish line thought process. And instead think of your health and fitness as something that you do. It's like a set of habits and routines that become part of who you are. So the question was, earlier just a few minutes ago from my athlete was like, what motivates you, what keeps you going, and he asked me what time I get up. Well, I get up at 4, right? I'm typically in the gym by 5. So, and I told him like when my alarm clock goes off at 4, I don't lay there and think to myself, man, am I gonna work out today? Am I gonna get out of bed? Am I gonna get changed, drive to work, work out? Am I going to or not? That's not even a decision. I don't give myself the choice. I just do it because it's something that I do. It's not an option. All right. And this is why programs fail because, again, first of all, they have an end date typically. You're doing a 12-week program, you're doing a 7-day challenge, whatever, 75 days, whatever it is. And then once that program's over, you've crossed the finish line, so you've accomplished your goal, you didn't accomplish your goal, and you're done with it. And then after that, like your old habits start to creep back in. All right. So that's one of the reasons. The other reasons that they fail is that they're typically too rigid. Sorry. So programs can feel pretty restrictive sometimes. So it's when they're overly restrictive, it's really easy to revert back to like your old habits especially when, life happens and things get kind of tough and there's some obstacles. You kind of go back to your old habits because it's comfortable, you know it, and what you were doing was just too restrictive and not sustainable. So anybody that works with me knows that I don't do like overly restrictive diets because they just don't work. So I just don't do that. And then one of the last reasons that they fail is that they focus on outcomes, not systems. All right. So again, like success becomes about like hitting a goal or crossing that finish line instead of creating a sustainable lifestyle. All right. So what I always tell my athletes or anybody that, wants to talk about it is that, it's great to have goals. It's good to keep you focused, have clarity on those goals. But as you progress, as you do this thing, as you think more long term and start creating those habits, it's less about crossing the finish line and more about refining and perfecting your processes. All right. Refining and perfecting your processes, making sure that those processes are that strong foundation that's going to keep you going through those obstacles, through those hard times when life happens, like all that stuff. That way, when you look at it as more process driven versus goal driven, it's a never ending process, right? You're never going to be finished. There's no end date, which means you're always progressing, always improving. All right. So start thinking of it that way. All right. And I lost my cursor. Here we go. So the power of habits. When fitness is something that you do, there's no off switch. Okay. It's not like, okay, I'm on the wagon, I'm off the wagon. There is no off switch for it. All right. You don't, there's certain things that you just don't stop doing, like brushing your teeth, perfect example. You brush your teeth in the morning. It's not really an option. You don't have to sit there and think about it like, am I motivated to brush my teeth? Do I really want to brush my teeth today? No, you just do it because you know that if you don't do it, there's consequences, right? So same thing with making healthy choices or your training or your health and fitness goals. It's a non-negotiable. All right. So the same thing goes for working out and like eating in a way that supports your goals. It's non-negotiable. You remove the choice from it. So it makes it way easier, actually. And then when you have good habits, then it gives you the power to adapt to things. Like life happens, right? You're not gonna be able to control everything that happens in your life. It's gonna throw you curveballs. Whether it's vacations, busy schedules. Right now we've got holidays going on, injuries. But when fitness is part of who you are, you find ways to keep going despite all of that stuff because it's a non-negotiable for you, right? It's not even an option. So if you do have that, you've got some injury, and I'll tell you right now, like there's always, and if you guys know me at all, I do nothing but complain about this hamstring injury. But I still train. I just adjust my training a little bit. All right. So there are ways to work around things. All right. And it's all about how hard you're going to be able to try to find that solution for yourself. And then when you're making a habit out of this, that progress is going to compound. So over time, those small little consistent actions are going to lead to some major progress and some major transformations. All right, so making fitness a lifestyle. So how do I make that shift from program, something that I'm just doing for temporary, short term, to a lifestyle? How do I do that? So first of all, like with anything, start small. You're not going to be successful if you think you're going to change your whole life in 1 or 2 weeks. It just doesn't work like that. So start small. Focus on something small you can repeat daily. And if you want to create a habit around it, it's got to be something that you can do pretty easily without too much effort. Something that's pretty easy. So whether it's a 10-minute walk, drinking, a little more water than you are right now, or adding like 1 or 2 vegetables to every meal, something small like that. And then find something that you enjoy. If you don't like running, don't run. All right. But if you like dancing or lifting weights, then do more of that thing. It's got to be something that you enjoy, not something that you think that you've got to do because that's the only way to get results. All right. If that's the case, you're going to hate, if your thing is, if you think you got to go to the gym, but you hate going to the gym, you're just not going to enjoy it. And you're going to find every excuse not to do that thing. So if you'd rather work out at home or you'd rather go for a walk or rather do, whatever, Pilates in your basement by yourself, totally fine. Okay. Just make it work for you. And then commit to the long game. So again, as I've said, like remove that option to quit. Don't even give yourself the choice. All right. Think of fitness like brushing your teeth, just like the example I made earlier. It's a non-negotiable part of your life. All right. And then focus on identity, not outcomes. So instead of an outcome goal is like I want to lose 20 pounds, instead think of yourself, tell yourself like I'm someone that takes care of my body and makes healthier food choices. Okay, think of that way. Think of it that way. Start changing your identity. Start changing the way that you think about yourself. Changing the way that you talk to yourself. All right. And eventually everything will start catching up. All right. So I always tell people like if your goal is to be a healthier version of yourself, do that now. Don't wait. People always have these if then statements when they're thinking about goals. They're like, okay, well, when I lose 10 pounds, then I'm going to start, you know, really like going to the gym or I'm really going to start, getting after my nutrition. Well, don't do that. Okay, you're just putting it off. All right. If you want to be a healthier version of yourself, instead think, okay, well, what would that, when you're faced with those decisions, whether it's food or training or whatever, think to yourself, okay, what would that healthier version of myself do in this situation? And do that thing now, not later. Okay, don't put it off. All right. So which side are you on? So when you make a fitness a lifestyle, not a program, like I said, you eliminate the option to quit. So yeah, sometimes your pace might get slowed. You might hit some plateaus. You might have some obstacles sometimes, but you'll never stop moving forward. Okay, always moving forward, always improving. And that's the real secret to achieving and maintaining like the health and the body that you want for the long term. So ask yourself, like, are you ready to make fitness a part of who you are? So which side are you on? Temporary effort or a lifelong commitment. Okay. And let me know in the comments. Drop a comment in the comments on this video and let me know like where you're at. Make a commitment. All right. So a couple things. So if you liked this video, and I've talked about this before, and you found it useful, found some value, like I started a YouTube channel a couple weeks ago, where this video and like others like it have a home. So it's a lot easier than trying to scroll through my profile and getting all these videos. And I've been doing them like weekly or every 2 weeks for the last couple of years now. So I've amassed like quite a few videos. So I'm going to be updating them all the time and throw them on there. So if you're interested in something like that and you think it's useful, then go visit my channel on YouTube, like my video, subscribe, and you'll get notifications whenever I post a new one. And this I've been talking about for the last few weeks. But if you're looking to like push your limits, um, like build your endurance, just your overall like fitness, and then come check us out at Gnarly Fit in Kalamazoo and try out our High Rocks like strength and endurance class. So we're one of the only two official High Rocks affiliate gyms in the state of Michigan. So we've got coaches that have are certified trainers, have done races before, so we know exactly like what it takes. If your goal is to try one of these races, or if you've been doing them and you just want to improve, then by all means come to us. But if you have no intention of doing a race at all and you just want to get generally like, stronger, build some muscle, lose some weight, build your endurance, just move better, then this is definitely something that you should try out. And right now, and I just posted about it. We posted about the last couple of days that we're doing a special right now, so you can actually come for free from now until January 1st. So you really have nothing to lose if you want to come try it out. And then the month of January is half off after that. So super low barrier for entry. So you should definitely come check it out. As always, I'll put some links in there. But if you have questions, like feel free to DM me or book a phone call with me. I'll put a link to my schedule in the comments like I normally do. If you have questions about, like setting goals or specific questions about anything, just let me know. I'm more than happy to help. There's no obligation whatsoever. But if you really want to make some serious progress towards your health and fitness goals, and have a certified personal trainer nutrition coach guiding you every step of the way and holding you accountable, then I'll leave a link to my training application also in the comments. Take 2 minutes for yourself, fill that out. I'll reach out and we'll have a conversation and see if you and I would be a good fit. I think that was it. That was it. I gotta stop sharing my screen. All right, guys. That was it. That was pretty quick, which is kind of nice. Some of these can kind of go a little bit long as I start rambling, but very quick to the point. Um, it's a big thing, and like I said from the very beginning, this is one of my keys for long-term success. I went through this thing just like some of you guys are going through. Lost my 70 pounds. It's been almost 10 years now, and never looked back. And it is because I made these mindset shifts. I just stopped doing all the roller coaster of, like I said earlier, throwing stuff at the wall and seeing what sticks. All right, that's not any fun. So you've got to make these mindset shifts, really commit to it, and make it a lifestyle change versus thinking of it as something that you're going to try and see if it works, or something temporary that you're just doing. So that was it, friends. Hopefully, you got some value out of that. Again, thank you so much for stopping by here, supporting me. Hopefully, you guys are enjoying it. If you have questions, if there's something specific that you'd like me to talk about, just DM me, shoot me a message, let me know, and I'll be happy to talk about it here. So, other than that, guys, have a great Thursday night. Have a great weekend, and stay healthy, my friends.